What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fat Man Gaming Podcast. It's been a little bit. We kind of let things pile up. Had some personal issues that I needed to deal with, so it's kind of been a little chaotic. But yeah, we're back and in the flow of things. This is going to be a nice and meaty episode. Got a new mic, so if you guys are all enjoying that new crisper sound, I got a new mic, and yeah, so we're going to be sounding real good now. But yeah, just to
Yeah,
start things off. The gaming industry seems to be falling apart, and we're going to get into that.
it's
But
on fire.
oh yeah, it's the house is burning down for sure.
Yeah.
But just to get into things, I am your host here, the Fat Man at the Fat Man Gaming. Down below is my co-host and friend in crime, Sir Nathan.
At it.
So yeah, it's been a little bit. Nathan's been waiting for me, of course, just because life happens. Haven't been feeling the best. Started a new weight loss journey, so that's kind of been helping out too. So yeah, just trying to get things in order. But yeah, we're gonna start off right into it. So the gaming industry has definitely been falling apart. It is on fire. Xbox started the fire. PlayStation's now uh, adding to the flame, and Nintendo's just sitting there and watching it all burn down. Um,
Yeah, the Xbox started the fire, and PlayStation's over here being like, "We have digital fire hydrants." Sorry.
Yeah, that's basically truth. So we're gonna get in. We've taken some notes, and we're just gonna dive right into it. So Xbox laid off, I believe somewhere in the realm of 3,200 people. They cut five of their top developers, um, and they're just hurting. So I created a list here of things of the reason why this is happening. So, the financial backdrop. Why? 33% drop in hardware. Xbox console revenue plummeted by a massive 33% year over year. 500 million net lost content and services revenue fell, resulting in $500 million annual loss. The $80 billion pressure. Massive debt from buying Bethesda, Activision triggered intense pressure, and Microsoft corporate. 3% profit margin, this tiny margin completely unsustainable given the scale of their multi-billion-dollar investments. So basically, Xbox spent too much money. Microsoft isn't happy about it, and they're ready to cut the plug on the Xbox division. Um, Rumors of Xbox or Microsoft trying to subsidize Xbox so that they can later sell the brand. Um, Massive layoffs have already taken place. Compulsion Games, after just announcing the new Senua game, gone. Secretly sold, I believe, sold to someone. We don't know who. Um, what else was there? There was the Insomnia, or not Insomnia, Psychonauts developer Double Fine was cut loose. Um, do you know who the other three were?
What was it? Ninja Theory.
Here we go. There's
Um,
one.
hold on. Xbox Studio layoffs. Yeah, apparently there's like 14 layers of management or something like that. It was like the most like what?
Yeah.
It was just a Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, Compulsion Games, and Double Fine. Those were the four studios that are now independent studios, and yeah, and reviewing the future Arcane for Arcane. Yeah, and then the 3,200 jobs that were lost were well, 1,600 of them were affected immediately, and then the other 1,600 will be over the next year or so. So it's not like they just dropped all 3,000, but they dropped 1,600. So there's that.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, those five developers immediately toasted. One or two of them, I think, were secret seller buyer thingy, so we don't know what's going on with that.
I think Ninja Theory is being purchased by somebody else. We'll see. I don't know. All I know is
Yeah.
I'm moderately upset about the fact that the Senua trailer was mostly like a proof of concept rather than the we actually are working on this thing right now kind of thing. But
I think it was mostly just so that they could. I think they were doing that to court a buyer. Like, hey, we made this game. Look at this game. This game could be something in the future. You might want to grab this.
And
Um,
don't get me wrong, I like Senua. I still need to play. I like Hellblade. I still need to play 2, even though I know that it's not going to be as good. But it's still I still want to play it anyway. But so I'm a little like it makes sense, but sad to see.
yeah. Um, Everybody knows I wasn't a big fan of Senua, so for me, it doesn't really bother me too much. But it's just tough to see developers get acts like that.
Especially when it's not really their fault. It's like it's not their fault that they got purchased for way too much for like probably way too much money, and then we're expected to have crazy returns, but only really are have the kind of game that's like the appeal of Senua's Sacrifice was the fact that it was a small team that made it. That was an independent team. That was the appeal of it. Now, when you have Big Daddy Microsoft making it, it's more or less a moderately okay sequel to the first one, which was a in not even like I would kind of like an indie darling, even though it's like still bigger studio, but it was self financed, it was self published. Like
well, it's so
there's
weird.
something to that.
It's so weird too that they're $80 billion in debt, right?
Yeah,
And their profit margin's only been 3%. You know, there's some problems going on there. I mean, we all said at the beginning they should have never bought in Activision. That should have just never been a thing. And then on top of that, they went and they overreached. And now we're all paying for it because again, like we always say, guys, players played doesn't equal copy sold, and that's been proven very, very true considering now Call of Duty's been yanked out of Game Pass. And now there's even rumor that Game Pass is going to be restructured and day one will no longer be a thing. And we called that from the very beginning. And on top of that, now you have a fan base that's been trained not to buy games, and now you're basically going to tell them it's time to buy games. And yeah, now the cycle rolls on. Um, I think this kick in the nuts is just too far done. I think this is going to slowly become the end of Xbox. And it's so funny too because you got clowns and trolls on Twitter that are just basically like, "Oh, Xbox is number one, still number one." I was like, "Bro, in what universe do you see these guys as number one?" Is all we'll get to it later, but as far as I'm concerned, top dog is Nintendo right now. Um, but and that sucks because we're PlayStation guys first.
yeah.
So
No, I love me my PlayStation, but we'll get to it.
yeah, Phase one. Moving on. Phase one, 2023 to 2024. Launch disasters and closures. Redfall disaster 2023 took a hands-off approach on Arcane Austin, landing to a broken game launch. Yes, Redfall was a utter disastrous piece of garbage. The dev's secret. Hopes. The dev's secret. Hope leak revealed Arcane developers actually hoped Microsoft would cancel the game after the acquisition of Tango Gameworks. Dude, they were hoping that Redfall was going to get shut down. They wanted Redfall canceled because they knew it was garbage. Um, let's see. Tango Gameworks shut down. Xbox abruptly closed Tango despite the just releasing the award-winning Hi-Fi Rush. Now that was the biggest kick in the nuts because um, Hi-Fi Rush was a phenomenal game.
Yeah, no, I heard that was really
Phenomenal
good.
game. Came to PlayStation and dominated. Was one of the top selling games for PlayStation, and then just like that, gone. Hi-Fi Rush, yeah, it was one of those rhythm style games adjacent to like Jet Set Radio and stuff like that. Jet Set Radio styling, but yeah, just an awesome game, man. And yeah, they destroyed it. Speaking of rhythm games, I highly recommend to everybody. I'm just throwing this out there real quick. Dead as Disco. If you haven't played it, try it. There's a demo on Steam. It is a phenomenal game. You can add your own music to it. It's great.
I've heard good things
Um,
about that one.
oh, dude, I'm playing it right now and it's phenomenal. Uh, so yeah. So where did we leave off? Oh yeah, Tango Gameworks closes. Arcane Austin Axe. The studio completely shuttered alongside Tango in a massive PR disaster. So yeah, there was that. Phase two, 2025. Ghost Games and layoffs. 9,000 redundancies. Xbox laid over 9,000 employees across its gaming division. Fake trailers revealed high-profile games like Perfect Dark, which was a major disaster. That game looked like it was finished or damn near close, and then axed. Um, and Everwild, another game that looked amazing, and I was looking forward to it, and then Thanos snapped. Was exposed as being completely derailed. No actual gameplay reports revealed initial trailer showed the fans of fake mock-ups and zero working core mechanics. Quiet Project. Quiet Project cancellations. Multiple unannounced long development projects were quietly deleted behind the scenes. That was all phase two, guys, and that sounds worse than phase one, which is still pretty bad. Phase three. The 2026 leadership bloodbath. Phil Spencer steps back. Spencer moved away from primary control, years of mounting losses. New CEO Asha Sharma. Sharma took over Xbox with aggressive, brutal mandate to slash costs. The 2026 chopping block. Acclaim Studios, Double Fine, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion Games were up for elimination. Despite buyout scramble, these studios entered frantic real-time negotiations to buy themselves out and go independent. Perfect. Okay, so they did go independent, which is awesome. Um, Compulsion Games hit the safety net, failed to save everyone, and mass layoffs hit Compulsion developers anyways. Now here's one that we all had heard about, and we were kind of just dealing with it our own ways. Toxic culture and retaliation controversies, weaponized layoffs. Multiple whistleblowers alleged Xbox used massive layoff waves to eliminate problematic staff. I'd be pretty pissed too if we're getting promised the world and they're basically pissing in your face and making you say thank you for it. Let's see. Abuse and disability scandals. Specific workers involved in work witnessing executive abuse and another requesting standard disability accommodations document. Everything warning shaken former staff publicly warned current employees to get any legal counsel to track off controversies. That's pretty shitty. When you have disabled employees who are basically asking for basic amenities and you're denying them and then telling them to find lawyers in order to deal with it. Um, the identity crisis and marketing whiplash. The multi-platform flip-flop. Former President Sarah Bond pushed everything is an Xbox. Stupid.
I
Porting
was that
major
myself.
games, yep, porting major games to PS5, alienating fan base, putting games on competing consoles, tanked Xbox hardware sales, and angered local or loyal buyers. The panic revealed new CEO Asher Sharma immediately tried to roll back the multi-platform strategy. Gears of War PS5 port canceled. Sharma canceled an unannounced PS5 port of Gears of War E-Day. Total strategy, confusion, the sudden pivot back to signature exclusives threw the entire software pipeline into chaos. And that's pretty much up to date on the whole Xbox fiasco. So yeah, so basically when Asha came in, the one thing that we did know that there was a development for Gears of War E-Day for PlayStation. And I heard that she wanted to cancel the Halo port, but it was already done, and they're not going to lose out on millions of dollars because Halo. I promise you, Halo's going to sell better on PlayStation 5 than it ever did on Xbox. I will put money on that. Um, and yeah, man. So, yeah, dude, there's just so much to go over, man. And it's just like, dude, it's one thing after another, and then when everybody was hoping that Asha Sharma was going to be the answer to all this, and she's really been the knife in the heart. And all credit, she was handed a sinking ship, but she's going down with it. And and unfortunately, with her career and background, this seems to be what she does. She goes in, cleans up, and then bounces. I don't think we're going to see her for very long, to be honest.
Mm, I don't know. Who knows? I can't tell really like what her goal is other than if she who knows, maybe like they do need like a major cleanup of efficiency as a whole, because like Xbox has making stupid ass decisions, and now I guess it's time for kind of the cold hearted lady to come in and start telling you to do your job properly. Again, 14 layers of management is way too much management before anything gets done. And also, Why is Gears of War $400 million to make?
Yeah.
That is dumb. Do you not know how money works? If that much money, like that is like if that is indeed the budget. If it is, that's crazy. I don't know why the hell, especially if you're going to make it an Xbox exclusive and on a console where more or less they don't buy games. I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense the way they just think that they can just put endless money into like specific projects and then just call it a day and think that like, oh no, like the Game Pass subscription will make up for it. It's like, dude, I can't imagine that many people like that much like it's that profitable. Obviously it's not. They're losing money hand over fist. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
It's
I think Big Daddy Microsoft is tired of fronting the bill for all this bullshit.
yeah. Well, we all know from him actually saying it. Satya Nadella, who is CEO of Microsoft, has straight up said he does not care about the Xbox division. He doesn't know what they do down there, and nor does he care. And then we got the rumors of them wanting to axe pretty much the Xbox division. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen to Xbox? Are they going to branch off and be their own company? Uh, or they just that's it? They just shut down? Like we don't know at this point. It's kind of scary to think what the future for Xbox is.
I agree. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Xbox is kind of like still outside my periphery because, like, again, I don't really like use an Xbox too much, but it's also still like we need meaningful competition between consoles and different companies. Otherwise, we wind up in a situation right now where Sony has a monopoly on the market and they're going digital only to make sure that it's a monopoly on the market.
Yeah.
We can't have this if we can't have different if we can't have multiple multiple companies fighting over basically who gets to make the better product, the overall industry is going to suffer for it, and it has, and it will for even longer, because now there's no meaningful competition unless everyone who is a PlayStation junkie that is more like the who's the people who switched from Nintendo to PlayStation when all the JRPGs were on PlayStation. If they all jump back ship over to Nintendo and Nintendo decides to actually like meaningfully do anything to like accommodate that, like such as like getting more like you know like like I don't know, just like more fun niche and like just very like still like good and well selling, but like like more of a broader audience, but like they have a lot of opportunities here to more or less cash in on the audience that PlayStation is losing, and I'd hate for Nintendo to pass it up more or less.
Yeah. For sure.
Because like dude, they can get all the audience that they had before, like dude, the Super Nintendo audience who are like, oh, like Nintendo 64 is cartridge again, and there don't seem to be really that many RPGs on there. That PlayStation got Final Fantasy 7. I'm gonna go to PlayStation. That crowd, yeah, the ones who like still buy like 6 to 10 to 12 to maybe even 20 games per year that you guys claim that we don't do.
And it's so funny too because Nintendo's literally, like I said, Nintendo's literally outside watching the house burn, and technically they're the ones that started the fire. But I'll get to what I mean about that in a little bit. But yeah, it's just so crazy, dude. I personally, I told everybody when Asha Sharma came in, I could tell immediately when she came in. I was like, I don't think she is what you guys think she's going to be. And
She's not your savior. She is the deliverer of you to the trash compactor.
yeah, she literally has been doing nothing but damaging the brand even further. And granted, like I said, it's not her fault. She's literally the iron fist that they chose to come in and do all this. And granted, she hasn't she worked with AI in the back. She doesn't not to be. I'll be honest. She's technically not qualified to do this. Um, so they took a shot in the dark. She's failing, and it's not her fault. They set her up for it. But it was definitely time to get Phil Spencer out. Um, if I was Microsoft, I'm be honest. If I was Xbox, I'm putting in a call to Shuya Yoshida, and I'm like, look, bro, we know that you worked for
Dude,
PlayStation
that'd be the
for
most goaded thing.
years.
I would switch to Xbox.
It's like, yeah, you were like the guy at PlayStation. Here's a blank check. You put the number down and fix everything. And I think he could do it. I would even put in a call to hell, Jack Trenton, Andrew Buss, um, or Andrew House. I'm sorry, Andrew House. Uh, literally any of the old PlayStation guys. Sean Layton. John Layton be a good guy. Fuck, I'd put in a call to Reggie. Reggie, come save the ship.
Anybody who actually still understands, like, the like what it's not even understanding. It's convincing corporate douchebags to essentially let companies more or less just do their thing and trust that the consumer will actually like appreciate it and then actually give them money for it.
Yeah. Now here comes the thing, and I'll be honest with you. I'll let you go first. But do we think Microsoft at this point? Do we think Xbox is even worth saving?
Even if it isn't, it has to. Otherwise, there's too few of meaningful competitors in the industry.
Right.
It needs to survive because if it doesn't, then we are, and then more or less, gaming is going to be this just monopolistic kind of mess of just more or less Sony, Steam, and Nintendo going at it. Nintendo weirdly being the one that is the least despicable out of all of them. And I say that with knowing everything I've said about them over the last couple of years because they are not the best, but at the same time, they're looking real nice in comparison to the other two boys in the classroom.
Right. And I'll restructure the question too. So we'll go, is Xbox worth saving as a hardware manufacturer? Is it worth saving Xbox to have a box? Or should the next person just come in and just say, hey, we're gonna make great games. That's it. That's a hard one, I know. Well, since you're pondering it, I'm gonna give you my opinion. My opinion is that no, Xbox is dead. Xbox to me as a hardware manufacturer is not worth saving. Um, the next box being just the PC, everybody has those. I don't need one that's dedicated to running an Xbox OS. Um, now, do I think worth saving as a software developer? Yes, because they do have access to those great franchises. Now, granted, they need help. Gears, Halo, um, Forza, and all those other franchises that they have, Call of Duty now and all of them. Just put those games everywhere. Just become Sega and just put those games everywhere. Nintendo, Switch, Steam, or Nintendo, PlayStation, Steam. Just do that. Just be the best developer in gaming. That's where your money's at. Um, and then that's where I think saving them would be the best option for them. Is just becoming the next great third party developer. Look at Capcom, dude. For years, we were calling Capcom Crapcom because they were literally shit in the bed. And just this year alone, they have two potential Game of the Year candidates and a third one potentially that's not even out yet with Onimusha. I mean, if Capcom can turn it around, Microsoft, who has way more developers under their belt, I think they can turn it around. But you got to get rid of the hardware because that's your biggest loss. And the reason why is because you trained an entire fan base to not buy your games. You're just giving them for free. And I mean, yeah, they pay $20 $22 a month for those games, but that players count doesn't pay developers. It doesn't pay the massive bills that you got piled up. So yeah, I would say as a developer, yes. As a manufacturer, no.
It's tough for me because my problem is I do think that we just need a more meaningful competition in the console space, dude. Because think about it, back in the '90s, you also had the PC Engine, and the Neo Geo. Like granted, those were specialty consoles. The Neo Geo was more or less an arcade accurate ports
Right.
of games, and those things were basically made to eat up rich kids' wallets. Um, and like the PC Engine was more for like, it's like, hey, you want your Super Nintendo games, but that sound real fucking good. Yeah, that was more for that, and like, you got ease and stuff like that. There was meaningful competition back then with multiple consoles, along with Nintendo and Sega. Well before Sony, and also Atari. Atari literally, well, yeah, Atari is like basically old Xbox anyway. But like there was way more competition when it came to consoles back in the day, and now that it's basically down to four. mm, Tough. We can't lose anymore, otherwise we're going to start getting basically like just there's not enough meaningful competition for everyone to like want to do better. PlayStation has been coasting for an entire console generation because Xbox has basically sucked a big one this entire goddamn time, and Nintendo is over here just kind of like the kid just playing with the sandcastle and just doing whatever the hell he wants. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And actually, I will give Nintendo this for the last 9-ish years. Pretty good. This is definitely better than the. I would say this is a like they stumbled with the Wii U real bad, but ever since the Switch 1 came out, they've been doing pretty good. They fumbled a little bit with the Switch 2 at launch. I'm still kind of pissed that I'm eventually going to have to get new Joy-Cons or like new sticks for my Switch 2 at some point when it starts drifting. Yeah, bastards. But because they're not TMRs, I guess. I'm kind of pissed about that. Other than that, I have no problem. Well, I have also problems with the key card bullshit, the a lot of the stuff that like Sony's do, like this, a lot of the stuff that Sony's doing, but Sony's doing it significantly worse, so it almost makes Nintendo look like good by comparison.
Yeah.
We need overall, we just need more meaningful competition, and basically, it's almost like these companies are allergic to actually trying to make meaningful competition. It's so dumb, man. Like PlayStation's been coasting, Xbox has been more or less like content with essentially just being the Netflix of gaming, and it's a nightmare. I'm over it, and I I want Nintendo to do well. I want PlayStation to do well. I want Xbox to do well. But unfortunately, it just doesn't. It seems like the only one who wants to do well is weirdly Nintendo. PlayStation is completely content on just coasting, and Xbox is over here chasing its tail. I don't understand what's going on. It's dumb, but
Xbox is the kid you tell not to play in the street and then it immediately gets hit by a car.
pretty much yeah. It's silly. I love how like most of the gaming industry is actually learning lessons that Capcom learned in the 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
I find it funny, but it's also kind of sad.
Um,
I hate when my cats get too curious. Anyway, so shall we move on from Xbox to the main boy of the hour?
yeah, yeah, let's do that. Also, guys, if you don't have one of these, this is the Lenovo Legion Go. These freaking things are awesome. Basically mobile PC. This one's running SteamOS, and it's running all kinds of retro games, which is where I've been spending most of my time. But we'll get to that later. Um, so yeah, let's get into the big dog in the room, the one that's been letting us down lately, and the one that actually hurts more than the others. Um,
Sony.
so
What the fuck, Sony?
time to rip on PlayStation. And then, like I said, we rip on everybody. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. So in the last 3 weeks, here's the big one. PlayStation announced the end of physical game disc. That's insane. Sony announced it will stop producing physical discs for PlayStation games starting January 2028, moving future releases to digital only distribution. Let's see. Loss of true ownership and game press. This is why people are upset. Loss of ownership and game prevention, no ability to resell or trade games, which is a big one. And remember, back in the Xbox One PS4 launch, Adam Boyes and Shuhei Yoshida, this is how you trade a game. Thanks. Well, guess what? This is how you trade a game. Fuck off. Is what PlayStation is basically telling you. Um, Fears that digital prices will stay high because Sony controls the storefront. Yes. Concern that games could disappear due to licensing. Yes. Big fear. Collectors lose physical editions. Yes. The backlash has been enormous, around 100,000 negative comments, and major developers in the industry features, including Hideo Kojima. You know he's not happy. And then some have called PlayStation Plus cancellations and boycotts. So yeah, I'm gonna go answer the door, and then yeah, let us know how you feel about that, Nathan.
I'm pissed. I am not happy. I'm more or less going to say that Sony is going to quit my hobby for me at this point.
Nice.
If everything's going to be digital, everything's going to be uber
You guys
expensive
be
because
quiet.
they don't care about how expensive it's going to be. I might just not do any modern gaming anymore. Sounds like Nintendo and maybe whatever Atlas and Capcom put out. Like that would be pretty much it. Uh, I have no interest in renting games uh, for $70 to $80 and then for them to immediately or to revoke my right to use it because in the future they're like, oh, contract expired, so you can't have that anymore. They in the announcement where I'm not even sure if it was the same announcement. I think it was very quickly after or before, along with them being like, we will no longer be making physical discs, it's going digital only. They also were like, hey, we're removing 500 movies from the digital library, and that includes your library. So even if you purchase it and you no longer own it, and it will be deleted from your hard drive. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That was
You
that was in the UK, and that was prior to the announcement of physical disc
Yeah,
removal.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I've never seen like a more blatant, like, you will own nothing and you will be happy. Like looking you straight in the eyes and just telling you you are nothing. You will basically pay for a subscription to every single game, and it's gonna be expensive as all hell. This Game Pass would work actually weirdly in an all digital sphere. The problem is that I think the Game Pass was a little too ahead of its time in that regard, in terms of like, if it was an all digital thing, subscriptions would make more sense because then it would behave like the movie industry or like Netflix or something like that, because they spend way too much money on dumb bullshit like I don't know how expensive the live action One Piece series was, and I don't know how much money they would calculate how much it made,
It
but
was pretty good.
goddamn.
It actually made me like One Piece, at least in the live action form. I still won't watch the anime.
I will probably watch the anime when the Wit Studio one comes out because it's Wit Studio. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the best it's ever gonna be. So might as well. Um, I'm just I'm disappointed in Sony. Like I knew they were gonna do this at some point, but goddamn, what the? I knew they were gonna do it at some point, but it's kind of just upsetting to like see them just like, it's great, we're gonna just do it. We're gonna do it now, and it's coming off the heels of GTA 6 being revealed as a digital only game, which I'm like, okay, or
Now,
like with no physical copy. Sorry, my camera is really just not behaving itself right now.
that's another thing I wanted to get into because yeah, so again, I was listening to other podcasts that I listened to, and
Storm's going crazy.
they were mentioning the same thing. Um, so they were saying that Sony knew that they were going to go digital for. I think your mic is off. There it
I'm
goes.
not looking forward to the future in terms of the only digital thing, of just not being able to like it. There's a lot of, it's just mostly a lot of consumer protection stuff too.
Well, so
I'm not
there was rumor now that and I believe it too. There was rumor that Rockstar knew in advance that PlayStation was going to go digital only for the PlayStation 6 and 2028. That's why they chose to do digital only for GTA 6. So it makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. It's just I it's just like, yeah, I think that using GTA 6 is actually weirdly like the most like emotionally manipulative way to convince the entire public that more or less digital only is the future. Because I have talked to I'm a hairstylist. I have talked to clients all day for the last 2 weeks or whatever, being like, you getting GTA 6, and even if they are the most like, I play games like FIFA, and like I will maybe buy a game once every 2 years, they are getting GTA 6. Like the least common denominator amongst everyone who is even tangentially into games, they're all getting into getting GTA 6, and they're going to use that like using everyone who is like more or less a casual gamer who's probably going to be buying this on Steam, or like, getting it digitally via like the digital PS5 because that's the cheapest thing, or the digital Xbox, which is the cheapest console. It's going to set a bad precedence for like what the overall like rest of the gaming industry looks like in terms of what we want from these companies in terms of consumer protection and like our ability to actually hold the game
I'll
in
be
our
right back.
hands
Give me
if we
one
want
sec.
to.
Keep going.
It's the lack of options is the problem. The the lack of being able to like we have no choice in this whole thing. They're basically just closing off one way to purchase whatever they want entirely, and it's if anything, it's like they're underestimating how alienating it is to people who have gamed for a long time. These people like myself who have been gaming for about 15-20 years at this point. Like I remember playing like PlayStation 1 back when I was like 8-10 years old, playing Mega Man X4, X5, even a little bit of X6, Mega Man 8. Like I was playing PlayStation when I was a child. Like I love gaming. I love PlayStation, but it seems well, Shuhei Yoshida left. The last guy who actually gave a shit about the actual gamer left, and apparently now it's being run by people who couldn't give a fuck about whether or not um hardcore fans are going to be there, because more or less they're seeing the bigger picture of mobile gaming and like how lucrative it is to essentially just pickpocket random people with crappy phone games and tie-ins that like bait nostalgia instead of just actually being good pieces of art. Problem is, art isn't profitable, and it's a shame that art isn't as profitable as it should be. But I guess slop is the thing that everyone likes these days, and I hate it. It's also just well, here's the thing: art requires an attention span, and our attention span is entirely fried.
Pretty much, yeah. That comes from the freaking reels on Instagram and Facebook and then TikTok, where everything's under two. The average reel is about 10 minutes in length, but most of them are 15 to 30 seconds.
Yeah,
So,
like whenever I'm going through like the shorts on YouTube or whatever, it's like just 20-second little blips. Sometimes it's even less than that. It's kind of irritating how it loops within 3 seconds. Anyway,
yeah.
I personally hate what Sony's doing right now with going digital only. It's just the removal of the option as a whole is my problem. Like, if you want to like invest in digital, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. Give us, the people who actually care about the physical gaming, our cut of the pie, and we'll continue this relationship for as long as we can. Now, if they just want to be like nuts to that, there's going to be a small but dedicated chunk of people who are going to say, fine, we're just going to not buy your stuff anymore. And like, even if they backtrack this whole thing, unless like management changes, I'm not going to trust Sony ever again.
The Dollar Milkshake beer, developed
Like,
by
more or
Brent
less,
Johnson Santiago.
unless like unless they get Shuhei Yoshida back. No, unless like dude can retire. Dude did his part. He can. But if they get like somebody in there who actually like seems to care about like the actual gamer and rather than like, kind of trying to placate to the people who play 1 or 2 games every 5 years, like I'm not going to trust Sony anymore.
Understandable.
I don't know. They've basically proven that they don't care about our ownership of anything that we bought from them. If I They have the kind of mentality that George Lucas has about the Star Wars special, the holiday special, where he said if I had the time and money, I would go into every house that has a copy of the Star Wars holiday special and destroy it with a hammer. I'm for sure Sony is like that with PlayStation games at this point. Like if we had the time and money, we would destroy every single retro game ever.
Oh
Like,
man.
so no, I'm irritated about it. I'm probably just gonna go like switch to Nintendo stuff at this point, which I never thought I'd say because I've been PlayStation for 20 years. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost.
I feel it. Um okay, yeah. It's been rough for me, man. So like I get it. It's going all digital is not going to stop me from buying a PS6. I am going to buy a PS6 regardless. Price is going to be a factor on that one though. Um Going all digital, I'm pretty much there anyways, to be honest. I very rarely do I buy physical disc now. I find myself just making the digital purchase just makes it easier. Now, I got a couple of reasons why I'm frustrated. One, I buy physical disc because it's a set price, right? I get why that set price is the way that it is because you got developer cost, you got licensing, you got middleman, so Walmart, Target, etc. So with them going all digital, now it's just developer Sony. There's no more middleman. I don't want to pay the middleman price anymore because that's essentially why we're paying $80 a game, $70 a game. So if you're eliminating the middleman, I want that price reduced. I flat out refuse to pay no more than $50 to $60 for a digital game in the future because that game, I don't care how much it costs to make, you're cutting out the entire wheel except for you and game. That's it. So there's no reason for these games to be 70 to $80 anymore. It's just not. There's no doesn't make any sense.
I would have
Now,
accepted physical games up until $80. It's getting a little ridiculous afterwards, and I can rant about game prices and especially how it was priced in the 90s. How I'm
right.
actually okay. I'm okay with paying $80 if it was still physical, but if it's digital, yeah, no,
Yeah,
dog. Fuck
we're
you.
gonna have to
No,
work on that for
no,
sure.
yeah. Hmm.
Two, and you had mentioned this earlier, and we mentioned it in the notes. I'm not gonna pay $50 to $60 on a license that could technically be taken away from me.
Yep.
Now, you know who does this correctly is Steam. Steam, when you buy a game from them digitally, they remove their DRM on that key, and that game is yours. And Dustin from Last Stand Media had mentioned the same thing. When you buy it, that game is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. Burn it to a disc. You can all that stuff. It's your digital copy. There's no taking that away from you. PlayStation will not do that. They want their hand on that copy. So that way, at any point in time, anything goes wrong, they can remove that from your library. Like, for instance, PT. Now, again, PT was just a demo. It wasn't whatever, right? It was a game that was never finished, never done, never even really past that trailer. So that's a shitty example, but it's still something that they pulled away that you can no longer download anymore. Um, so if that's going to be what we're doing at Ford, then those two things are going to be my biggest pet peeves. And yeah, that's going to be my no. Then I'll join the anti Sony team. But for now, going forward, I mean, it doesn't hurt me. It's still disappointing because it is nice to have a physical copy, especially for Resident Evil 9 that had a nice collector's edition and other games like you're into, like some of the anime games that have outstanding physical editions. Yeah, it's like It's
All the
definitely
Persona games back here.
it's
The Death
definitely
Strandings and the Metal Gear Rising. That is an awesome collector's edition, by the way. I will say.
that's definitely going to be a bummer for that aspect of it, but I could see why they would want to do it. Do I agree with it? Not 100%, but I don't know, man. It's such a slippery slope. And then let's see. Okay, so here was the other thing that pissed everybody off, and especially me, and I know it did you too. So after they announced basically the world was ending, they went quiet. So Sony went quiet after the announcement. After posting the news, PlayStation's official accounts reportedly became largely silent for several days while criticism continued. Many fans interpreted this as Sony avoiding engagement of addressing concerns. Lawsuit. So, a lawsuit has been filed over the digital only transition. A consumer lawsuit was filed in the Netherlands seeking roughly $457 million, arguing that ending physical media harms consumers by removing the resale market and potentially allowing higher digital prices. We just talked about that. Renewed criticism over ownership. The physical disc announcement revived anger over Sony's earlier removal of hundreds of purchased movies and the user libraries, which Nathan had mentioned. Although the movie removals predate the past 3 weeks, they became a central talking point again following the new announcement. PS5 library / history synchronization bug fueled suspicion. Around the same period, some PS5 users reported that physical games or play history disappeared from their profiles. Sony is reportedly investigating it as a synchronization issue rather than an intentional change, but the timing led many players to speculate it was connected to the move away from physical media. Ouch.
They
So some
sound like they're backtracking so hard right now. It's
shenanigans ensuing. PS Plus experiment criticism. Late June. Sony teased a new way of delivering some PlayStation Plus game catalog titles along in regions. Players criticized the experiment as confusing and less convenient, though this controversy was much smaller than the physical media announcement. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it has been a absolute nightmare in gaming. The gaming industry is on fire. I think we're getting ready to experience a crash just as big as the Atari crash that revitalized, like basically destroyed gaming. I think we're right there again. And like I've said, and Nathan has said, at the end of it all, the only one going to be left standing is Nintendo.
because they've been around for over 100 years, which is hilarious to think about. Because
Well,
more or less, they're also a toy company.
it's so funny too because not only did they save gaming from the first crash, it looks like they may save it in the second crash. So, but yeah, Sony just messing up left and right, dude, left and right. And like I said, and this doesn't take away from Nintendo. They're not innocent with the whole game key card. So basically what you're getting is a license to play the game on a plastic chip that you then download the game later. Which makes sense in a way because those cartridges only hold 32 gigabytes of data. Bigger cards, maybe 64. It just depends on what the ones that Nintendo uses. But
The problem
there's
is
not much data on there.
the Nintendo's going to have a major problem when they want to try to shut down the Switch 2 services, and then people are going to be like, "But people still have key cards and blah blah blah." And it's like more or less Nintendo's going to have to essentially keep that up for the rest of its life, which is not a smart move in the long term, but we'll see.
Right.
Because fortunately or unfortunately, many different countries that aside from the United States have laws that are essentially basically no, you will make sure that users still have access to that product in perpetuity. That's what ownership is. You understand that and it's funny because like other countries can understand that like Brazil or what was it, Thailand.
Yeah.
Like they can understand that, but if like over here we're like, what is ownership? And it's just fine. You don't need to own the thing that you purchase. It's like, no, but it's why I bought it. But now I'm over Sony right now. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't touched my PlayStation in a little bit. I've been mostly playing my Switch 2, enjoying the hell out of that thing, and I don't know, man. Nintendo might be the one that it might be the cockroach that actually survives this whole gaming carpet bombing that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. I'll mess with this in a second. Um, yeah, definitely looking like it. But yeah, man, what a freaking time to be alive now. It seems like we've stepped into literally the worst of alternative timelines, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So
Yep.
yeah, it's getting pretty sad out there. But yeah, that's pretty much our coverage for all of this stuff, guys. So yeah, we kind of went over everything. We gave our grievances on it. We said our opinions on it. So that's how we feel about things, and it seems like we're both kind of in agreement that yeah, it's basically a really really shit deal right now. Um, and then yeah, I mean, obviously things just keep coming every day, so we'll have more to talk about soon. I'm no doubt. Um, but yeah, we're gonna end this thing with what we've been playing lately, guys. Next week we'll have a little bit more in depth of. I was gonna squeeze it in here, but I think we'll just do it next week so we have stuff to talk about. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff that we've been playing, and then next week we're gonna go in depth on Star Fox, guys. So me and Nathan have both played Star Fox. We're gonna go in depth on that next week and give our opinions on that, what we think about it.
My copy's back
And,
there somewhere.
and then well, there was another game Nathan wanted to talk about too.
Mina the Hollower.
Yes. So we'll get into I played it a little bit, guys. I like it. I've also been playing Millennium Tales: The Adventures of Elliot. So we'll have
Ooh, okay. I actually still want to get that game.
yeah, it's yeah, you would definitely love it. It is a great game, dude.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about a little bit of that stuff, but yeah, most main topic next week's gonna be this guy right here. And yeah. So Nathan, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Nice.
I finally got the scale that lets you fly around in the world, and that is one of the best feelings I've experienced in gaming. Like as soon as as soon as I took to the skies, and I was like, I know that place where I was just like trying to climb up, like scattering my way up there. I'm like, let me just go fly up there, and it was like it's a similar feeling to when I beat Concert Dawn in Elden Ring. I'm like, this feels so immensely satisfying. It's great. So I've been playing it for about 90 hours. I'm going to be on chapter 11 in a minute. I'm just doing a ton of the side missions, trying to unlock as much of the map as I can. It's it's a great game. I feel like I don't know. I would need to see how like originally was on the Wii U, because I feel like I'm just kind of weirdly blazing through this game. Although I don't know if there's like way more side quests that unlocks after the game. If that's the case, then it makes more sense. But we'll see. I'm having a ton of fun with it though.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
And then I think I was also like testing out the Raito Kuzunoha remaster from it was like Raito versus the Soulless Army from Atlas, the like that action RPG Shin Megami Tensei game. It's pretty good.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I need to play those games. I just never given them a fair shot. And I know that they're akin to like Expedition 33. And I love that game, so I need to give these games a shot. And what better
If
way
you
to do it than to give them an old download a roo?
I still very much recommend if you ever wanted to get into any Atlas Shin Megami Tensei adjacent thing, other than going old school Megami Tensei, which is a little hard to do if you don't if you don't love the hardcore PS2 RPGs, it's going to be a little bit more of a tough pill to swallow. But Metaphor ReFantazio, I will sing endless praises about that game. I'm trying to get my other friend to play it, and I even told him like I will buy you a copy of this if you want if you want to play it.
Nice.
It is I vouch hard for that game like as much as I can now because after I finished it, I was like this was really good. I don't know how it, like weighs in comparison to like Persona 5 or Persona 4 or 3 or whatever because I haven't played Persona 1 or 2 yet. I'm sorry. But But I loved my time with Metaphor looking back on it. And I think that if you're ever going to go through any of the games that are like the calendar system RPGs, Metaphor is the way to go.
Nice.
And it also combines a lot. It combines like the battle system of S&T with like the calendar system of Persona, and it has a job system or a job class system which works really well and can also be really weirdly unbalanced. Welcome to Atlas RPGs. But the story is awesome. The art is amazing. The music's incredible. I think that one should have gotten even more attention than it got. Very much recommend that one though.
Oh yeah.
Rambled on a little bit there, but I love that game. I kind of wish I would have loved it a little bit sooner, but I think recently I kind of was like, you know what, that was actually probably like just as good as Persona 5, maybe even better actually.
Yeah. So let's see. So
What have you been playing?
I've mostly been playing Star Fox. I've been playing Star Fox. Been playing online, doing a lot of multiplayer, dominating, making them kids cry. Um, had the camera going and got into a match with a smart aleck little kid and told him to take a good look at that face. Of course, I was Star Wolf, and he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because this face is going to be in your mom's bedroom tonight." And proceeded to get a suspension warning. So don't do that. But yeah,
this is
been
well. Hey, if you want the COD lobby, they just released those games, so
yeah.
that's back. But
So been doing that, and then I've mostly been playing on this guy right here, playing a lot of retro games. Playing currently right now. I've beaten 11 retro games in the last couple weeks.
yeah,
And I'm currently working on something a little bit more lengthy. So I'm playing Legend of Dragoon for the PS1,
nice.
playing at a solid 120 frames per second on this nice little mobile PC right here. And yeah, I'm about halfway through the first disc. And yeah, been having a good time with that, getting some retro gaming in, and pretty much just that. Um, yeah, getting into Legend
Oh, yeah.
Dragoon, great game. If you guys never played it, PS1 classic. Sony needs to revisit that, but with all the dumb boneheaded stuff they've been doing, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Um, but yeah,
That would actually require them to listen.
and which a document has come out and saying and has said that they don't care about what their fan base wants or thinks. So yeah, we see where that's gonna be at. So yeah.
Well, in that case, I don't care about buying your console, you stupid bitch.
um. Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't like. I don't want to give a company that it hates me money. I'm all right with that.
yeah. Same. But we will see. So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been going for exactly an hour, so right on.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Um, we will see you guys next week for sure. Now that things have cleared up and I'm feeling a lot better now, so we will see you guys next week. Um, be on the lookout for more news. It's coming, well, no doubt. We'll see if Sony backtracks. I don't think they will. The reason why I don't think they will, real quick, and I forgot to mention this as well, is that the former CEO and the current CEO both sold half their shares in the company. You don't sell half your shares in the company if you're going to backtrack on an all digital future. But we'll get more into that next week with more information as I get it. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Again, I am the Fat Man here at the Fat Man Gaming. Down below is the esteemed co host, Sir Nathan. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. And y'all have a good one.
Yep. Have a good night. Get home safe.
Later, guys.